The next year, towards the end of the year, Elizabeth was 6 and Berkeley was deep in his dissertation writing. So I took the girls by myself across North Carolina and down into North Georgia to have Thanksgiving at my brother's house. Now, when we would travel with our children, we would play storytelling records and tapes, and we would sing songs and tell stories along the way. As a Georgia girl and a Mississippi boy, we grew up in the segregated South, but my children lived in a different kind of place. As we listen to this album, I'm Gonna Let It Shine, a collection of a cappella songs produced by Bill Harley with some of the original Freedom Singers singing freedom songs, they heard these lyrics. If you miss me at the back of the bus, you can't find me nowhere, come on up to the front of the bus. I'll be sitting right there. And my kids said, Mom, what's that mean? So I stopped the music and I explained that when Dad and I were growing up, Black people had to sit or stand at the back of the bus so that white people could sit in all the seats they wanted. Oh, said my girls. And we turned the music back on. And now there was a song about, you're going to have to go my bail. Mom, they said, what's that mean? And so I stopped the music and I explained that sometimes there's a law that is just not right. And people can demonstrate against that law and sometimes break that law. It's called civil disobedience. And when that happened, they might get arrested and put in jail, and their friends would gather up the money to get them out on bail so they could be free until their trial. Oh, said the girls. But who knows what children make of these things? We came home after Thanksgiving, and now it was the first week in December. It got dark about 4 o'clock, and we were having supper, and I realized that the next day, Friday, Elizabeth was going to go home from school with a birthday girl, and we didn't have a present yet for that child. So I said, Elizabeth, after dinner, we need to run over to the mall and get a birthday present. What if we go to the bookstore and get a gift card? Okay, Mom, she said. So we did. We went to the mall. We got the gift card. We went back to the car. I was fastening her into the back seat when a stranger walked up to me. And speaking in a very heavily accented English, she explained that she had just missed her bus there in front of the mall and wondered if I could carry her up into town where she'd have another chance to catch it. It was a woman, and she was holding a big stuffed bear. So I knew that, like me, she was a mom getting a present for a child. Of course, I said, and I led her into the car. I said to Elizabeth, who doesn't like surprises, we're just going to run this gal into town and then we'll head home. And so we drove into town, having one of those faltering conversations you have with a stranger, especially when English is not the first language of you both. We let her out at her stop, and then we started for home. And I thought to myself, I need to put this in context. My child has never seen me pick up a stranger before. So I said, well, Elizabeth, I guess I just did my good deed for the day. And she said, why do you have to do a good deed for the day, Mom? I don't know. I guess I think that's what makes the world go round. She thought for a moment and she said, some people wouldn't help a person who had a different skin color or different accent from them. That's true, Elizabeth. Well, then the world stops, she said. Oh, yeah? Yeah, she said. And when it starts again, you have to jump over that person every time you get to them. Yeah. And then after a while, there's a great big pile because it's all of us. I said, Elizabeth, you are a philosopher. What's that, Mom? She asked. And we drove up the driveway and we're home.